in 1984, Los Angeles hosted the Olympics, and the American gymnast Mitch Gaylord was the one to watch. Not only because Gaylord became the first male gymnast to ever score a perfect 10, but moreover, there was immense anticipation on whether or not Gaylord would perform a highly advanced mid-air maneuver on the horizontal bar. I knew this because my coach, Dan Connolly, was also Mitch Gaylord's coach. Dan sat next to me that special evening. He gathered his entire team to watch the Olympics with him at his nearby Los Angeles training facility. But what made this particular moment so special was just how peculiar the situation had become. As it stood on the last evening of competition, the American team was just slightly ahead to win the team gold medal. It was in their hands. The hard-to-beat People's Republic of China was behind by only a few points. The stakes were high, not only because the Olympics were hosted in the United States, but also the Americans had not won a team gold medal in the sport since the 1904 St. Louis Games, and even that was contested. So the situation was clear. If the United States plays it safe and performs without a major error, the gold medal will be theirs. Only a catastrophe on the horizontal bar will defeat the Americans. And that possibility was a stark reality with the gymnast Mitch Gaylord. Now, Gaylord was one of the few gymnasts in history who has been honored by having his name associated with a trick. The Gaylord 2 is a maneuver so complicated, he was the only one capable of completing it. And so there I sat with all of this insight next to the very coach who taught the U.S. team's pivotal gymnast. Would Mitch Gaylord perform his infamous Gaylord 2? If Mitch performed this exceptional maneuver and recaught the bar without fault, he would achieve the ultimate glory, winning for the team, winning for himself, winning for the sport. And yet, if Mitch fell off the bar mid-routine, there would be enough of a deduction in points and the Americans would lose the gold. Accomplishing such a feat with a new kind of routine would be groundbreaking, opening the door to a new level of human achievement. This trick is almost impossible to execute. It is one of those transitional moments where we do not know exactly what is happening as it happens. It would require numerous rewinds and re-examinations to understand its technical and cultural nuance. As is always the case with masters that make the incomprehensible look easy, new kinds of struggles will emerge for those who dare follow. The struggle between inspiration and fear, seduction and self-doubt, discipline and instinct, ruthless preparation and the now. This may be what all creators strive for, to embrace the consequences of a calling carrying it all forward through a temporary unknown, and in the wake, a singular event, a point in silence, before exaltation, initiated by a rare visionary who must first feel fundamental. And so here we sit. Gaylord's coach Dan, and now my coach, fixed to the television screen. Gaylord approaches the horizontal bar, stands under it, and takes a long, deep breath. And I glance at Dan nervously, in full comprehension of the accumulation of intensity to this moment. I understood better than most all the years, days, hours, and minutes of focus, discipline, and pain, moral and physical, that gymnasts endure to reach a pinnacle such as this, years funneled into a single moment into this vast and original evening. Mitch grasps the bar and begins. He swings around the bar in a continuous handstand motion. This is a baseline trick known as giants. Performs a simple beginning, a few graceful maneuvers, and then he begins to swing faster and faster into a very special giant composed of a three-part sequence called the pike arch pike. Before any gymnast dismounts off the bar at the end of the routine, he needs to boost himself to gain the maximum height. To do this, on the downward part of the giant, a gymnast will pull in his waist with his legs straight. This is the pike. And then he'll arch his back on the upswing, on the down part. Then he pikes his legs again on the upswing. And this entire maneuver will thrust the body up in preparation for the release. But this is usually done at the end of the routine. In this case, Mitch was to perform a release in the middle of the routine. In other words, before the rest of the world knew, we knew he was going to go for it. And we rose to our feet. Now, I need you to understand this image because it's not easy to explain.
Is it a solid light?
It's like a beaming light, streams of light.
Are you still driving your car?
No, I just am. I just am.
Well, what do you mean?
It feels like I'm part of this light.
Are you still in your car?
No, I feel like I'm floating, and like I'm part of the light. I'm just light. It seems like a transcendence of time. Like I'm moving. I'm going somewhere, but I don't know where I'm going. And it's okay.
It's a feeling of movement?
Yeah, of floating, of moving, through colors, through time, through space. It's very pleasant.
The colors are all you can see?
Colors and golden light. It's very peaceful. The feeling is that I'm everything, and everything is me. All that is there. All that is here. All that is.
The sound, light.
this side, babe.
There's so much to learn from the slowness of rocks.
I may have to misuse some terms to get this point across.
Is this a real thought? Or did you just make it up? Destiny, so what? Make it all practical. Hardly even capable of being conversational. As if every bit of chance is just a forgotten future. When simultaneous time is finally conquered, piercing the curves of apparent inconvenience.
I always try to detect when ambiguity is ingenious or something to regret.
Precision clicks. In exact combination, everything fits when resolution is needed. Impeccable timing implies a precision, order, and admiration of his significance.
I want the point, not the vector, not the artistry of never an answer, the illusion of depth from lateral conversations. Everything is weaving. I wanted to stop to the still and the slow of just one thought.
His deity came to him, his psyche, his donkey, with 3 piercing eyes. It opened each one at a time, and showed him 3 things. In one, he was infinite. In the next, he was a body. Then the 3rd eye paused and remained shut, like a long blink, cautious and stuck. And in that pause, a psychic cliche.
Poetry blushes but never runs away. Subversion is surprise's dirty cousin. Fear-driven and blinded by ambition. Lord, give me a rush of unreasonable optimism. The one comes for your goddamn reason. When will the sage be fighting?
You have permission to laugh. You always have. So tell me, what will please you? Tell all of us, everyone.
Replace all the mini TVs on the back of airplane seats with etch-a-sketches. That way, people will look forward to the turbulences.
These words, like dotted islands across the ocean, took their time rising from inner explosions. I
also recommend good dance performances. set to task my inner partners. I am the documentary. I am the martyr.
He misuses some terms to get the point across. He is about to say something that's never easy to explain. Limited but driven, leaving a residue of awkward collage, images of failure, but these are not applicable to cosmetic irony. Will he remain calm? Hear him reconcile his failure when trying to speak of essences.
Rhymes are not always kind. This last one's stuck in your mind, creating its own karma. I think it hurt all of us. This impeccable time. There will have to be many more to rectify this most unnecessary confusion.
So, through the cheers of my fellow gymnasts, I felt a quiet anxiety. I felt it before in my years of training, but this one was heavier. It seemed that the display of rhythm and strength that so thoroughly defined gymnastics was now replaced with something else, the perpetuation of complexity itself. I looked at my coach, who is responsible for bringing this new kind of intensity into the world. It was all his idea. He famously pushed Gaylord over the years, and now he was glowing with pride. The building up of strength and mastery of rhythm were no longer the ends for a gymnast. Rather, these noble pursuits were to be the means to propel oneself into the new arena of premeditated perplexity. My coach turned to me and whispered, "Jimmy, you're the next Mitch Gaylord." Thanks.